Hey everyone, Delphi Trading here, back again with our weekly market report that we do every week for you guys here on YouTube. So again, please like, subscribe to the channel, get the word out. We continue to do amazing things here, and we've been doing that for, well over a year now. All right, so we're doing something a little different, looking at crude oil here. Obviously, everyone knows what's going on out east with oil now. We are not in normal times. I talked about this last week. When you're dealing with technicals and charts, news trumps all that stuff, okay? And we are in a very news-driven market. The markets all day long, the algorithms are scoping for news of what's going on out east with oil. Okay, look at this spike that we had yesterday. Okay, actually, oil was over $130 a barrel in overnight session. Okay, and it opened up around 120, and then a complete crash down here to roughly $80. Okay, we're not going to get into what we did for our members in our Discord, but we can tell you we had an amazing day trading a lot of different names and some index zero DTEs as well. So anyway, again, oil, we can see we're not in normal times, folks. So just again, if you're trading, be careful and be very, very careful. And again, we're not in normal times. Look at the 10-year here. These are the rates. We basically went from under 3.94 to over 4.2 in a couple days. Okay, this is not normal, this volatility. Okay, so are rates going to go higher? We don't know, but again, this is another example of the times we're in right now until, things cool down out east, if and when that happens. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Okay, so before I jump to Think or Swim, I do want to show something here on the small caps. Okay, again, if you've been following us on X, I will show the post at the end. It is Delphi_trades on X. We keep posting amazing things, and things like this chart. Okay, we posted this back a while back about this pattern forming on the small caps. Okay, we flagged a bearish head and shoulders pattern here. Okay, and we flagged that basically back here. Okay, when the small caps, the IWM, all those products were back here, and we felt like we would form a shoulder. The first part of that shoulder, we would need to come down, okay, to this roughly SPY 246 level, and you can see we hit that yesterday on that, that open that was a crash open. We hit that target for this shoulder to play out. So now the question is this shoulder going to form? Well, in one day we've already bounced. Okay, so that's kind of a wacky. If we come down right now, that's going to be kind of a wacky shoulder, but a shoulder nonetheless. Are we going to get back? We were back up here earlier today. You can see that at the top of the shoulder. Okay, that's where we were, and that's where IWM reversed. We saw heavy option flow, or what we call UOA, in the IWM put buying up at this level. Okay, we actually took some positions. We were out of our hedges, and we are back in some hedges now. When we get to the other chart, you'll see. But as soon as we saw that option flow come in for next week and even short term for Friday, we jumped on it. And again, we are in some puts. We actually cashed out already some of those on this reversal. Okay, but anyway, the moral of the story is here: if you're following us on X, you're getting information like this. We're posting some amazing stuff there. So if you're not following, you're really missing out. Okay, let's go to Think or Swim. We have a couple minutes left, actually 1 minute till the close, or 15 seconds. So we are here starting with the SPY, and we can see now our target from last week has hit. All our targets have hit on the charts, even our bonus play on Netflix. Okay, so right there our target has hit. And there's the closing bell on SPY. And remember what we said last week. Our target or our forecast was not a huge forecast because the averages were right there. And we said it would not surprise us now these averages, this is the 50 and that's the 20-day, are going to be resistance, and that's what's happening. Okay, and that's why we said we would go up very short term and then right back down. Okay, and that's what we did. And you can see again today, almost to the penny, where the SPY reversed from. Okay, right from the 20-day. And now we have this shooting star, short-term shooting star on the SPY. I think we're going back down. Okay, that's where I think we're going. Now again, take this with a grain of salt because any kind of positive news and the markets will pump. Okay, so, but I am going back down. That's where I'm going. I'm going right back down to, I'm not going to go all the way down yet. We're kind of in this channel. We were below the channel yesterday and then things bounced, right? But I am going down again. Okay, I am going down off that reversal, off this short-term shooting star. And that's my forecast for next week on the SPY. Qs, same thing. Our target here from last week has hit right there. And again, same thing, up to the averages and a reverse back down. Okay, and again, look today. Qs actually started to look a little bullish because it was over the 50-day. We are now between the 50-day and the 20-day on the Qs and this support. Okay, there's some support here, but again, look at that shooting star, okay, on lower volume. So the Qs, I'm going to do a contingent. If we get below this level here, which is not far, roughly under 606, I think we're going right back down towards that other support level right there on the Qs, okay? So contingent on this break of this support. Otherwise, we could bounce around in here like a pinball. Okay, but anyway, if we do break that, I'm going lower. Okay, IWM, I just kind of showed you guys that pattern here on the Russell. And you can see I kind of have this this shoulder I kind of drew out here. Okay, we can see here's the shoulder here. And I was kind of looking for this to form here. But if IWM goes down now, I don't know what kind of shoulder that's going to be. You know, maybe it comes down and bounces again to make the shoulder, but I'm going lower on the IWM as well. Okay, you can see last week again, our target has hit there, and what happened? A dump from the moving averages. Okay, IWM didn't even get there because there's a resistance right there. Again, heavy put buying in the IWM. Okay, and option flows that we're seeing. Okay, right there, that's when they all hit, and there's the resistance. Okay, so resistance broken becomes support, support, support. Broken becomes resistance. Okay, so I am going back down on the IWM on my forecast here for next week. I'm just going to go down to the lows here. Okay, wouldn't surprise me if we go all the way down here, and we'll have to see. Okay, on the IWM. All right, finally, let's look at Netflix, our bonus play from last week. Remember, we said contingent on a pivot. We felt Netflix was going to come down towards this support. And that is what's happening in the process. We had a pivot here. This would have been Friday. Okay, we could see the lower high, lower low on that red hammer. Excuse me. Following this kind of shooting star there. Okay, right at that resistance. And that target is pretty much hit right there, okay, off of that pivot. We've gotten 2 days lower, and again, it would not surprise me if this continues lower on Netflix, especially if the markets keep going down. Okay, so that's it for me. Before I go, let's look at our X page again. If you're not following, you're making a mistake. Okay, it is at Delphi_trades, and you can see here this was a recent post that we just put out today. Well, actually, this was from yesterday. Again, we had some 0 DTE UOAs explode on the on SPY and QQQ. You can see it right there in our post. These are the actual UOA right there. Okay, and these went up almost 800%. Okay, again, we posted these on our X channel. We're posting a lot of option flow stuff on our X channel. So again, get on there and follow us on X. Right there is the handle. And again, please like, subscribe this YouTube channel. All right, that's it from us. Again, be careful out there. This market is only news driven right now. So be careful with your trading. And if you're uncomfortable trading, there's nothing wrong with, taking a week or two off and letting things cool down. Have a great week. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon.